Good morning, everyone. Today is day 4 of the Glazer Lorton Writing Institute. Let's see what today has in store for us. Welcome. If you're new to my channel, my name is Marily Sanchez and I'm a 4th grade teacher in South Florida. I am attending this writing institute. If you have missed the last 3 vlogs, I am vlogging every day of the institute from day 1 all the way to day 9. So today is day 4 and I am just in time for breakfast. So let's go in, grab some breakfast and get ready for the speakers and information that we will learn today.
As we come in, we're always greeted by these beautiful quotes. And this help table is always having goodies for us to pick up. It was time for breakfast, so this was our breakfast setup, and this was my little piece of breakfast for this morning, and today's flight plan. These were also the goodies for today on our seats, and then we went over the lesson requirements. Our first presentation was using art to incorporate writing, and then we had delicious lunch, which I'll talk about later. The afternoon, we had Georgia Hurd, who talked to us about different things, including heart maps. These are some beautiful quotes that she started her presentation with, and the start of my heart map, which I'll show you later, as well as the type of writing that we can do in our heart maps. And she also signed my book. At the end of the day, we got a lunch bag.
We just wrapped up day 4 of the Writing Institute. I forgot to say this morning that today was UM Day, so I am wearing my Hurricanes shirt, and it was an amazing day today. Another day filled with amazing writing ideas that I can't wait to share with you and with teachers at my school and with my students. So the morning actually started by them letting us know of the lesson plan that we have to make, which is part of the requirements for completing the Writing Institute. Along with the writing that we're producing, we're going to publish a piece on Monday, or we're going to turn it in on Monday, and we're going to try to polish it because we do have to turn it in for publication. Every Writing Institute that they do, they have every participant create a writing piece, and then they publish it in a book called Sunstrokes, which I'll show you next week Friday for the celebration. That's usually when we get it. And along with that, we also have to create a lesson plan on a writing lesson that we plan to do with our students in the fall, using some of the strategies that they have shared with us in the Writing Institute, along with the best standards. And in order to help us do that, not only did they go over the requirements that they want us to include in the lesson plan, but they also want us to use Jennifer Saravallo's book, the Writing Strategies book, because there's a ton of ideas in there that can inspire us to kind of use it in our classroom and create a lesson plan. So I have homework this weekend. So I want to write my piece that I want published and turn it in on Monday. That is due on Monday. I want to work on my lesson plan and make sure that I get it going. If I can finish it by Sunday, that'll be great. That lesson plan we will need to present next week, Thursday. So we present it to our class. In that way, we get to learn many ideas from the different participants that are in our group. Then it was time for a morning presenter, Gloria Parlade, who is an art teacher at a local elementary school, and her writing activity was amazing. One of our facilitators let us know before going to get ready for the best writing you will ever write. And it was amazing because she used different pieces of art. First, she started with 2 pieces of art that she had us observe and notice similarities and differences. And as we did that, she completed a Venn diagram on the board. And the great way about using art as a medium or as a stimulus for writing is that with art, there's no wrong answer because you're using your imagination. I love that. She gave us an idea for using different art, and you can get it from different magazines or postcards, etc. She said to have like maybe a box in your writing center with different works of art, like in postcards or small pieces of paper that students can choose whenever they have like a free writing activity, and they can just pick up an art piece that they can be inspired to write something on. One thing I do want to mention is that after we did the compare and contrast of those 2 pieces of art, she did point to a poster that says use your senses, so that also encourages students to use their 5 senses if it's applicable to the piece of art that they are describing. So after that, we went ahead and did an activity, a writing activity, where we had to look at different pieces of art that she had placed around the room. And she asked us to look at all the different pieces that were around the room and to pick one that really jumped out at us, that really spoke to us. us. And then once we had that, we could take a picture of it so that we can have it at our desk and start writing something that is inspired by that piece of work. I chose a particular piece of art that had some children at the easel in a room that had this window that had light coming in, and I wrote a little piece about Layla. So that was my first little writing piece for today. I actually wrote many pieces of writing throughout the day, and I'm very happy with the writing that I was able to produce. After we did that, she had a couple people share out. I also shared mine. And she said, don't tell us which piece of art you wrote about. Just read it and then we can try to guess which one you used. And it was amazing because after everyone shared, everyone was able to connect to the piece of art that they wrote about because of the details that they used in their writing. So the next activity after we did that, we went into the hallway and there was a table with a variety of different pieces of artwork. And there were also pieces of art along the wall of the hallway. We were asked to choose between 2 to 4 pieces of art that had 2 characters, 1 setting, and a conflict. Then we needed to bring those pieces of art back into the classroom and write a piece incorporating those pieces of art. This one I wrote about Lily, and it was a really beautiful story. I titled it Daughter of Gaia, and I love nature and I connected with it, so I just let my imagination go wild on that piece, and I'm very happy with how it came out. Of course, if I want to edit that piece and add more details later, I can do just that, because as you may have seen in the previous clips where I show you my pieces of writing, we write on the right side of our notebook and we leave the left side of the notebook blank so that we can go back to revise or maybe add some more details. So that was our big presentation in the morning, and it was amazing. Then it was time for lunch, which was provided to us by the Writing Institute and their sponsors, and it was an amazing meal of pasta. We had salad, we had lasagna, we had Alfredo pasta with broccoli, and it was great to be able to gather around together. And after we ate our lunch, we had some announcements, and there was a number that was in posters all around the hallway and even in the media center where we had our lunch. And as soon as I walked in this morning, I noticed the number, and the first thing that came to my mind was, I wonder if that's the number of students that are impacted by the Writing Institute. So when they asked what it was, some people guessed and they were incorrect. And then I said what I just told you, and I won a cookie. It is such an amazing, cute cookie with the logo of the Writing Institute. So that was a lot of fun. After lunch, it was time for our afternoon speaker, which was Georgia Hurd. And what's awesome is that I've been using heart maps in my classroom for many years, and I didn't realize that Georgia was the original creator of the heart map, and she has written many books about it. Georgia is also a poet and a writer. She has written a variety of different books, and it was so amazing to get all these writing ideas from Georgia that I can't wait to implement in my classroom. So let me start with a quote that she said at the beginning of her presentation. She said, "Words have the power to move people," and she is so right. All week, all of us have been engaged in writing, sharing our pieces of writing, and we've been moved by the words that everybody has shared in writing that just literally comes from their lived experiences and their hearts. And, it just pulls on our different heartstrings, and just not only does it inspire every one of us, but it also builds our community, right? Because we find ways that we can connect with each other. And I find that super magical. Something else that Georgia said to us was, being a writer starts from one piece of writing, and then you just have to believe. And believe is my word that I use in my classroom all the time, because I want my students to believe in themselves, believe in their untapped potential, believe in their ability to do whatever they set their hearts and minds to. So I love that she said that, and I want to create a poster in my room and post it somewhere, so that I can remind them of that every day. The bottom line is that you have to just believe that what you have to say is important. So the first writing activity that we did with Georgia Hurd was Where I'm From. It was an amazing activity. She showed us some examples, and basically it's not about writing the exact place where you're from, your address. It's more than that. Tap into your feelings, your emotions, your experiences, and then write about that. So I wrote mine, and I was very happy with it because I tapped into my little island of Puerto Rico and my experiences of being in that island and living there and just being surrounded with family. So after we did that, we shared it in our groups. Future Marieli here, coming to you because I forgot to mention something really cool. So when we were sharing the Where I'm From poem in our little groups, Georgia Hurd actually approached my group group, which was in the front, and she heard to all of us share. So I was the second person to share, and it was so amazing because Georgia heard my entire poem that I had written, which I showed you as well, and she loved it. She said it had great details, and at the end, she actually said to all of us in our little group that all of our poems could easily be turned into children's books. But to have an actual published author who has written many books and who is a poet herself and has a degree in poetry actually stop and tell me that she really found my writing to be beautiful and had great details, that meant a lot to me. So I really had to share that quickly with you because that was one of my glimmers for today for sure. All right, back to Marieli in the car. And after we shared, we were asked to choose one line from that particular poem that we wanted to share out loud in order to create a community-sourced poem. I did want to mention that before we started our community-sourced poem, she made a reference to the crowdsourced poem that NPR does. And I thought that was really cool because what NPR does, there's one particular person that sets a topic, and then the community submits different types of lines for that particular poem, and he then takes those lines and creates a poem. So I thought that was great. And that's how she started that whole activity. So that was the first piece of writing that we produced with Georgia Hurd. And then we moved on to the next writing activity. With this one, she made reference to the book that we received today, My Thoughts Are Clouds, and it's a collection of poems that incorporate mindfulness. The book is divided into different sections that deal with mindfulness. First, we have breathing, mindful me, mindful world, meditation, and kindfulness. She says that there is a connection between mindfulness and writing because you're able to slow down and notice those small moments, and you can pay attention to and honor all your feelings. And there were a couple of different things that she also listed as it pertains to mindfulness and writing, which are really important. Then we went ahead and did the next activity, which was the heart mantras. A mantra is a mind tool. It could be uplifting words, comforting words, words that motivate us, words that remind us who we are. So we got little heart sticky notes, post-it notes, that we could put in our writing notebooks and write different mantras or words that uplift us. What do we need to hear at that moment? That brought me to when I did my 100 days of positive thinking door decoration, where I gave my students 4 to 5 circles where they needed to write positive thoughts about themselves. And we decorated our entire door about those. So I actually told Georgia that I had done something similar, and she really liked the idea as well. So yeah, I filled up my notebook with different hearts that had positive mantras or heart mantras that spoke to me at that moment. Then we went ahead and jumped right into our next activity, which was related to weather. Basically, you can use weather as a tool to express your feelings and emotions. And she read a poem in her book about weather, and then we went ahead into our writing notebooks and chose a weather that we wanted to use to describe how we were feeling at that moment. So I went ahead and I wrote my next piece in my writing notebook, and I wrote about feeling partly cloudy. So that was my internal weather report for today. The next activity we didn't have an opportunity to actually engage in because we were running out of time, but she did talk about it. It was the letting go or the letting your thoughts drift activity, where you can use little cloud or cloud bubbles or speech bubbles, little post-its, to have students write down things that they just want to let go, release from their mind, so that their thoughts are like clouds and they just drift away. And I thought that was a beautiful thing to engage the students in. And you can see how that incorporates mindfulness. The prompt for that activity was, what thoughts would you allow to drift away at this moment? And I love that. The final activity that we worked on with Georgia was, of course, the heart map. And with our heart map, she went ahead and gave us information about it and gave us some examples that were amazing, different ways that you can make heart maps. Kids can make heart maps, adults can make heart maps. Heart maps can be about any different topic or subject. And you're basically sharing whatever is on your heart as it pertains to that particular topic or moment. And I really love this activity. It was so awesome to be able to not only just include words, but include pictures and include craft supplies. So I started working on my heart map, and I am not done, but I am really happy with the start of it, and I can't wait to finish it. So it is part of my Writing Institute binder, and I can also share it with my students when the school year starts, as they also embark in creating their own heart maps. Georgia also shared about heart mapping during a TEDx talk, so I'll link it down in the description box below so you can listen to her short video. It's less than 10 minutes about her idea on heart maps. Some of the things that Georgia shared with us when it comes to heart maps is we make a map of our heart because writers write from the heart. We all have a map of our hearts within ourselves. Without the heart, it is very difficult to make writing meaningful. Heart maps are deep emotional work, and you can see how they can be a springboard to writing pieces that our students can produce in the classroom. And why not give a space for our students to be able to share those deep, meaningful stories that they carry in their hearts? So that, my friends, is how our day 4 concluded. Amazing. I am so in awe by the plethora of ideas. And I do want to read to you my reflection from yesterday because we had to send it through email. And I was very happy with how I wrote it because I compared us, the writing teachers or the teachers that are in this institute, to miners. And you know how I love Minecraft. So that comparison came to mind as I wrote my reflection. So let me go ahead and share my reflection with you. I did write this reflection before the start of today, so it's only going to contain information from the first 3 days of the Institute, but here goes. The past 3 days have been filled with many nuggets of writing gold. I picture each participant as miners who keep mining away at the many opportunities given to us to expand our writing treasure trove. And boy, have we struck gold. We've even discovered precious gems that are too hard to miss and not implement in our classrooms. Some of these include a better way to implement Writer's Workshop, where students are given agency through choice powered by positive reinforcement, as shared by Jennifer Jacobson. Another was learning various activities we should implement to help build a community of writers through vulnerability and connection, thanks to the wonderful presentation by Dr. Precious Simonet. We also learned how to use dialogue and various writing text structures to help students produce writing that's more detailed while showing what they know, because literacy helps us know what we know and why we know it, as shared by Gretchen Burnaby. But that's not all. While listening and learning from these amazing presenters, collecting each writing nugget and jewel, our facilitators have also helped us discover more writing mining gold. They have demonstrated ways to build a community of writers who engage in daily writing practices because, after all, a writing teacher needs to be a writer themselves. All of this have come from just the first 3 days, and there are still 5 more to go. I can't wait to return to school to share my writing treasure trove with our teachers and help them discover the value in these writing nuggets and jewels. I also can't wait to implement these in my own classroom to help my students discover the value of writing and uncover the writer within. So those are my words from my day 3 reflection. They do not include today's day 4. But my day 4 reflection, I'm going to write tonight and have it ready to turn in on Monday morning. I did include 5 more days because next week Friday is a celebration. So we're not going to have, per se, any new presenters share with us, but you never know. We might learn even more things during the celebration breakfast. And with that, my friends, I will sign off from day 4 of the Glazer Lorton Writing Institute. And I can't wait to share with you what will happen in the next couple of days because we still have 1 more week of this amazing Writing Institute. If you're a teacher in South Florida, I recommend you check out the Glazer Lorton Writing Institute next school year. So around springtime, like in May, they send out an email encouraging people to apply to become a participant in the Writing Institute. So I encourage you to watch out for that email and see if you too can become a future participant of this amazing Writing Institute. I hope you enjoyed coming along with me. If you did, don't forget to hit the like button. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought or any questions you may have. Insert a heart emoji for all the amazing heart work we did today in our writing. Also, if you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing and hitting the bell for notifications so you don't miss any future videos. I hope you have a beautiful, magical day, and don't forget to smile. Hello, dreamers, wishers, and magical thinkers. Thank you so much for making it to the very end of this video and for showing your support. If you'd like to subscribe, you can do so by clicking on my picture down here. You can also check out my latest videos here and here. Don't forget to believe in the magic that's inside you because you are capable of great things. See you next time.